Good evening and welcome to the Tri-Cities Mountain Empire Weekly Digital Fusion Net. This is N4NT. The name is Adam, net control station for this evening's net. At this time we'll begin with our Pledge of Allegiance, so if you have a flag nearby and inclined to do so, please stand and remove any headgear and face the flag. Place your hand over your heart. Veterans may render a salute and repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, and I'll apologize real quickly that I didn't make it in to do early check-ins. Ran a little long on the previous analog net and had to get everything set up. So, all right, this net meets each Tuesday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time in the Bristol Amateur Radio Club Fusion Room 61243. The Mountain Empire Amateur Radio Society, or MIRS Room 40843, will serve as a backup should the Bristol room be down at net time. Whenever possible, recordings of this net are uploaded to the Ham Radio Zone YouTube page and or broadcast live. So we are broadcasting live tonight. Visit the net website at qsl.net/TCME for Tri-City Mountain Empire for net info and links to these and other pages. The net uses a program called NetLogger to track check-ins, and that's available for free download at netlogger.org. There's also a website that mirrors NetLogger if you don't want to download the program, or if you're using a smartphone or some other type of device, or you can actually pull it up on a desktop as well, and that is K3CLR.com, Kilo 3 Charlie Lima Romeo.com, and you can pull that up on any device that has access to the internet, and just click on Tri-Cities Mountain Empire Fusion Net, and you'll be able to follow. We whenever we do the comments from our check-ins, we typically have each station pass the net on to the next. So the NetLogger and K3CLR programs come in handy for keeping up with that. However, we will run down the list before we take comments and give out call signs and names, so that way, if you're doing it the old-fashioned way with the pen and paper, you can jot that down and keep up with who's after you. This net emanates from the Tri-Cities area, consisting of counties in northeast Tennessee and the Mountain Empire of Southwest Virginia. All amateurs are welcome to check in. We will now begin taking check-ins. When checking in, please give your name, call, and location. Let us know if you're going to be in and out, and we'll mark you as such. If you just check in, we'll come back to you for comments. So any station like to check in, please call now.
ZA, Kilo Lima 1 Zulu Alpha, Jim Bristol. November 4, Kilo Zulu Sugar, N4KZS, Gary, in Piney Flats, Tennessee, short time.
Kilo Delta 4 Whiskey Mike X-Ray, KD4 WMX, Canyon Quiet Lodi.
KL1ZA, Kilo Lima 1 Zulu Alpha. Not sure if my first transmission went through.
K4HQ, Ken Gray, in and out.
Okay, we did have a double there at the beginning, but I think I got both of them. K4HQ, Ken, got you, heard you the first time, but I didn't get the in and out the first time, but so thanks for coming back the second time with that, but we did get you first on the list there and got you in and out. Thanks for checking in tonight. And then we've got KL1ZA, Jim, N4KZS, Gary, got you marked as a short time, and KD4WMX, Ken, in Quiet Lodi, Virginia. Are there any other stations?
Ski Bravo 4, India X-ray uniform, John, Unicorn.
Okay, picked up John in Unicoi, WB4IXU, Unicoi, Tennessee. Any other stations, please call now.
Cincinnati.
Kilo Echo 8 Lima Golf Charlie, Eddie in Fairplain, West Virginia.
Okay, I got N4XRD Ralph. I couldn't hear any audio, but I saw you keying up, Ralph, so I got you on the list. And Kilo Echo 8 Lima Golf Charlie, Eddie in West Virginia, got you checked in. All right. Let's see. Is there anybody that might have doubled that I didn't call out on that list?
KO4 EV Bristol, in and out.
Okay, Chester, got you checked in and out. Thanks for checking in with us tonight. Good to have you. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and proceed on with the topic. And we got a short timer there, Gary, so I'm going to go ahead and acknowledge him after I give out the topic, and then we'll see if there's anybody else out there. So that way, hopefully we get Gary in there and don't lose him. All right, so I hold in my hand the envelope as a child report can plainly see. It has been hermetically sealed and kept in a mayonnaise jar on Funkin' Wagle's porch until noon today. But I will, in my mystical and semi-divine way, ascertain the contents, having never seen, if you believe that. Okay. So tonight's topic is with it being August 25th and summer winding down, and people are already calling it fall, even though technically it's still summer and it was 90 degrees at one point today. Our topic for tonight, always the topics are strictly optional. Any other comments you'd like to make are welcome. But tonight's topic would be, what did you do? What did you accomplish over the summer? So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and acknowledge Gary in 4KZS as a short timer. After Gary answers the topic, then we'll see if there's any more check-ins, and then I'll run the list. So go ahead, Gary.
Okay, good evening, everyone. On the net tonight. Oh, Lord. Accomplished. My goodness, I haven't accomplished a whole lot. I guess I did finally get all my hardware together and put up a full wave 80-meter loop antenna. Used 4 telescoping flag poles because I didn't have the trees in the right place. Has to be perfectly square with the schematic and footage. And I finally got it up, and it works super. I'm on it about every night on 80 meters with it. Running about 1,200 watts with old blue that I got from Rubber Room over in Wantwell. So I guess that's an accomplishment. Adam, go ahead.
All right, well, good deal, Gary. I tried to put the topic out a little earlier to give everybody a chance to think about it, and I'm honestly still thinking about it sitting here. But did you have anything else before I take more check-ins?
Negative.
Okay, just wanted to make sure there. All right, let me acknowledge a proxy check-in. We've got an amateur operator that's monitoring us on YouTube. N4AZO, and that's Roger in Hilton's, Virginia. So we certainly welcome those check-ins, and we put them down as proxy check-ins. And of course, Roger, if you do have I'm not sure if you have a Fusion radio or not. If you do, just holler at us there in a little bit and let us know, and we'll put you as a regular check-in. All right. So before we move on with the check-ins that we've got, let's see if there's any more out there real quick. Any other stations like to check in?
KX4 UK.
Kilo 1, Whiskey Victor Alpha. Dave, Clarksburg, West Virginia.
All right. Well, we picked up Dave and Dave, KX4 UK and K1WVA, respectively. Any other stations? Okay. Well, what I'll do here in just a moment, I'll give you all the list. Just if you're new to the net or hadn't been in a while, just what I do is I run down the list. I give the call signs and the names. That way, if you can't remember the call sign, then you can be like, well, hey, I'm passing it to Bob or whoever. And when it's your turn to comment, or when you reach the end of your comments, just pass it on to the next station for us, and we'll keep the list running like that. And if you forget, I'll jump in and assist. Couple things I'm gonna do a little bit different tonight than what I've been doing as of late. I'm gonna forgo the Town of the Net segment for tonight because I want to see if that affects how many check-ins we pick up after the first round. I just want to maybe do that for the next couple nets and see if I'm maybe getting too long-winded and pushing the net too long or something, and see if we pick up more check-ins. And the other thing is I normally start out with my comments, but I'm going to wait till after the first round because I'm really still thinking about it, what I'm going to say about the topic. All right, as a reminder, the topic is what did you accomplish over the summer, and that is strictly optional, and any other comments that you'd like to make, let me reset. So tonight, we'll start things off with KL1ZA, Jim. Jim, you'll pass it to Ken, KD4WMX. Ken, you'll pass it to John, WB4IXU. John, you'll pass it to Ralph, N4XRD. Ralph, you'll pass it to Eddie, KE8LGC. And then Eddie, you'll pass it to Dave, KX4UK. And Dave, you'll pass it to Dave, K1WVA. All right, so take it away, Jim. KL1ZA, you're first.
Discussion of the night. What did I do this summer productive? Not much. It seemed like I was always working. I did take a few days off. We went to North Carolina for a couple of days. I want to say Blowing Rock, but it wasn't that. It was one of the other places there, kind of brain-fried. But other than that, much has happened this summer. Just working and sleeping. So with that, I'll pass you on to KD4WMX from KL1CA.
Well, thank you, KL1ZA, Mr. Jim. This is KD4WMX in quiet lowdown. It is quiet. Let me turn the fan off so you don't hear that. But as far as what I got accomplished, well, everybody knows what I do for a living, so I worked, and I worked, and I worked some more. But my summer doesn't end until the end of September because I go to the beach second or third week in September, so that's when my summer ends. But hoping N4NT got that promotion he was looking to get, And with that, I will say 73 to everybody. Hope you have a good rest of the week. And I'm going to turn it over to WB4 IXU, Mr. John. Take it over, John.
All right, sounds good. This is WB4 IXU. Well, what did we do this summer? Well, I guess basically accomplished. Spent quite a bit of time with kids and grandkids. I guess that's an accomplishment. A lot of activities and stuff going on with them this summer. And been working with the property. That some of the property was kind of saplings, things like that. Been kind of clearing that off. I guess that's an accomplishment. And worked trying to get a little bit more of my station on the air, which is going slow. That's about it for the summer. And tolerated this heat and wearing a mask a lot. Okay, for that, we're going to turn it to Ralph, N4XD, N4XRD to pick it up.
All right, this is N4XRD. Hope you can hear me now. You got a copy on me there, Adam?
Oh yeah, you're coming through good now.
Yeah, I had to turn up the power a little bit on switching radios around and running weird antenna setups. And that's part of what I've accomplished this summer. Not too mentionable, though. I guess if you ask the boss, she'd say about half of nothing. But the main thing that happened for me this summer that was unusual is a great big tree fell down behind my cabin, about 30 miles from here, up on a place called Flat Ridge. We have a log cabin. And a leaning tree fell over, and we arrived. It was one of the few places we'd go to during the COVID situation. We arrived and saw it laying down there and started looking around at the other trees in the front yard. Decided that we needed to take 4 more down in the front yard. So before you knew it, I had 5 trees down 30 miles away that I had to clean up and slice up and split. And in the meantime, here on my own property, 4 acres I live on, here in the Adwolf area, had 2 trees come down on this property, just on their own. One during an ice storm, so that was last winter. And one when I was just standing there one day, dead calm conditions, all of a sudden tree fell over. So those 2 are still laying there, but I got 4 of the trees cleared up, and got the 5th one sliced up, and got to go back and start working on it. But in the meantime, speaking of the log cabin, I'm chinking log cabin, so that's a major task. So if you see a handicap sticker pickup truck hauling a hydraulic log splitter, don't laugh too much. It's my therapy. N4XRD, handing it over to KE8 LGC.
Hello, this is Kilo Echo 8 Lima Golf Charlie. This is my first time being on the net. I appreciate the opportunity to be a part of it. I hope you all have a good 73. And what I accomplished this summer, RL books for pastime. And I'll probably get about 4 or 5 books completed over the summer. And I'm proud of that, and I get those from ARL website. So I thank you all, and 73, and I believe it's to Dave.
Okay, this is KX4UK. Thank you, Eddie. Saw another call sign there on the list, but I don't know what that was. Anyway, what have I achieved? Quite a lot this year. I came out of retirement. I had to take a few years out of work to take care of my son. So I've been out of work full-time for probably nearly 5 years now. Started working part-time at the beginning of the year, and just transferred to full-time. And with that, I had to reacquire my EMT certificate, which I did, and I am hopefully, in about 6 weeks, closing on a house. And then the work and achievements will really begin. I've got to fix the house up a little bit and start me a little homestead is my plan. So going to be moving out to Mountain City, about 2,800 foot above sea level. So I'm hoping to get a better station for one, move out of my RV, which I've been living in for probably 3 years now, and put down a few roots. So achieved a lot this year, and hoping to achieve a lot more in the coming weeks and months. And with that, I am going to pass it to another Dave. It looks like K1 Whiskey Victor Alpha. This is KX4 UK.
Okay, Dave, thank you. This is K1WVA. Another Dave located in Clarksburg, West Virginia, where we had, past few days we've had some brief but severe storms roll through here. And what have I accomplished this summer? Not much. You know, with the COVID-19, it's a little hard to get out and about. I have a part-time job. I get out maybe 2 times a week working, and I had to take my antennas down. I'm operating direct mode here, so I don't have any antenna hooked to my 400, don't need one. But the work's done at the back of my house, and it's time to start thinking about putting my HF and my other antennas back in the air. So with that said, I'll turn it over to Adam. Looks like there isn't anyone behind me. Tail gunner this week. K1WVA.
All right, thanks everybody for those good comments, and I knew they could get interesting with COVID and everything going on. Sounds like a lot of people made the best of the situations, and yeah, Ralph, if I see you come through with that log splitter, I may flag you over and see if I can get you to split a few for me. I don't have a fireplace. Well, I do have a fireplace in my house. I don't use it, but I've got a little fire pit out back that I have especially on my weekends off, which is every other weekend. I'll have a fire or two over the weekends and sit out there and drink a few beverages and that kind of thing. So, all right, well, that brings us to the end of the list. So let's see if we have any more stations that would like to check in. Anyone else, please call.
Net Control, this is WD8L, Bill in Hurricane, West Virginia.
Net Control, please check in. KD4 CCO, Dallas, Bristol.
Go on Alpha 8, Yankee, Echo, Zulu, Matt in the Throne Metropolis of Wheeling, West by God, Virginia.
Okay, we picked up WD8L, Bill in West Virginia, KD4 CCO, Dallas and Bristol, Virginia, and KA8YEZ, Matt in West Virginia. Any other stations? Okay, sorry about the kerchunk there for the digital modes. All right, so I said I'd wait till after the first round to make my comments. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And let me run the list of what I have here for the folks after me passing on. So I'll go next, and then I'll pass it to WD8L Bill. Bill, you'll pass it to Dallas, KD4CCO, and Dallas, you'll pass it to Matt, KA8YEZ. And as a reminder, tonight's topic is what did you accomplish over the summer? So let me, and real quick on a side note here too, and I know Ken's going to be a little disappointed, but my boy Chase has joined me in the shack with the intention of speaking on the radio at some point, and I have waited just a little bit too long because he's laying here in the floor on this little carpet that I've got sound asleep. So I guess feeding him spaghetti and giving him a bath before nap time might have been a little bit of a mistake. I did try to rouse him up there and see if that's the reason I keyed up a minute ago and see if he was willing to make comments, and unfortunately he's not. He shook his head no and put it back down. So I apologize for that. I know that's I always enjoyed that segment of the net, and I enjoyed putting that on YouTube. I even take those clips out individually and put them on YouTube by themselves, as well as with the net recording, and they seem to be real popular. So anyway, what did I accomplish this summer? Well, not a whole lot yet, but I've got some things in the works. We did take a couple of vacations this summer. We actually went. We had booked a beach trip to Myrtle Beach around, I want to say in May, and we thought COVID might kind of put a stop to it. That was about the time that they really laxed everything, and so we made that trip anyway, and we made that trip just in time, I think, and got in and got out, and didn't have any issues, had a really good time. Went and ate at our favorite place down there a couple times. My wife's sister went with us and kept an eye on the kids a couple times for us so we could go enjoy ourselves by ourselves. And let me put another quarter in. And that's a trip that we usually take every year and book a hotel and do all that kind of stuff. And we had that thing booked months in advance. And so we managed to make it. We managed to take the kids and have a really good time. Well, then some friends of ours actually moved to Navarre Beach, which is near Destin, Florida. And they called us up and was like, hey, come stay with us. No hotel fees or anything like that. Just get yourself down here, and we'll even feed you occasionally. So we took off a month or so ago and went down there. And that was, we were there for about a week. That was a really enjoyable trip. And we probably won't ever go back to Myrtle now because of the clear water and stuff that was down there, and just a whole lot different atmosphere. And we had a really good time, and a lot of good quality family time spent with that and with the kids. And of course they watched the kids for us and let us go out a time or two then. One of the things that I accomplished with that was I picked up a couple of new states that I'd never been to before in my life. I'd never been to Alabama and never been to Florida, and so I can mark those off. I was only in the Panhandle. I've never been deep into Florida, but nonetheless, I made it to Florida and drove through Alabama. So that was pretty neat. And both of those trips, I took my FT3 HT with me, and I sent out an APRS beacon, and a few people tracked me. I even sent the link to my dad, and he watched the trip as well, and so that was pretty neat. And I took a laptop also, and was able to call the Tri-Cities Mountain Empire Fusion Net from Florida, which I thought was pretty neat. That was part of the point of buying all this equipment, to be able to do something like that, be able to communicate back home and various places. So that was really a neat part of that. And then one more thing, and I may have to reset before I finish this one, but let me do it now. Okay, Ken had mentioned that I'm working on a promotion at work, so I spent quite a bit of time over the summer studying. They gave us a month and a half or so notice on this promotion test, and they actually were doing two of them. They were doing sergeant and lieutenant rank, and I came out really good on the sergeant test. Just 1 point out of first as far as the written test goes, and there's still an interview process. They give you points. The 1-point spread is basically a level playing field, pretty close. Well, then for lieutenant, I came back and I actually have a 6-point lead over second place. So I go this Thursday and do the interview for lieutenant. They're going to do it first. That way, if one of us makes lieutenant, we don't have to sit through the sergeant process. So, that's this Thursday. I got up to first place last year and fell a couple spots after the interview and everything. But long story short, I feel a whole lot better about my chances this year than I did last year. I'm in a little better standing. I was, like I said, first last year, but not by as much of a spread. So, I will just ask that if when you're praying, if you'll just remember me and for that I have a positive outcome on this situation and get this promotion. And hopefully by this next week I can give you a good report on that. So, all right, I got a little long-winded there, and I appreciate you bearing with me, but I will now pass it to WD8L, Bill.
This is WD8L. I really don't have a whole lot to say. I have a small farm here in West Virginia, and I do a lot of grass mowing, and I've had a lot of health problems, and worse things. I guess I had to have my leg removed, so and I don't have a whole lot to say about that. So I'll pass it on to KD4CCO.
Well, good evening, everybody. Unfortunately, I was unable to get it to 443 repeater linked up tonight, and I can't figure out why. I tried two different radios and two different computers, and I can't get either one of them to work. One computer does not see Adam's room number, and the other one won't connect the computer to the radio. So I've never run into this situation before. I'll figure it out sooner or later, but it's not in time to do the net tonight. Let me pause a minute. Well, what have I done this year? Stayed alive, for one thing. I had a bout with colon cancer, and they removed the cancer, and they say they got it all. So that's about it for me. Anytime you can survive any kind of cancer, you're doing well. I'm still on chemo, but that's just more or less a precaution to be sure that if there's anything left, it'll find it and get rid of it. So anyway, keep up the good work, Adam, and I'll figure out what's wrong with this Wires X deal. Had a problem last week, but I got it remedied before the end of the net. But I'm not going to make it tonight. So we'll say 73. This is KD4, CCO.
Okay, up next was KA8YEZ.
Okay, good evening, Adam. You and everybody else on that. Thoughts and prayers are with your interview on Thursday. Hope everything works out good for that. And Alice said what I was going to say when I first heard the question. I stayed alive. Stayed alive and worked, and kept myself and the little one fed because wife is working half day at home, half day at the office. So as soon as I get home, she goes in. So that means Dad trying to cook supper for me and the little one. But kept us both alive and worked the whole summer. Kept people in medical oxygen and welding supplies. So doing Doing good. And I vote for putting the your information about the towns that you were doing, keep it in there. I liked, even though I didn't know where a lot of the places were, I like listening to them. That's about it. 73 to all. Have a good evening, what's left of it, and a good rest of the week. And don't forget about the Country Roads Net on the West Virginia link. 46488, I think it is, on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Okay, why is that? Back to net.
Okay, Matt, thanks for checking in, and yeah, thanks for the info on the Country Roads Net. I usually try to give you guys a plug there, so that'll take care of that. And yeah, as far as, and thanks for the feedback on the town of the net, and also to Bill and Dallas for the comments that you all added, and yeah, we definitely are thankful that Dallas, that your situation seems to be working out to the good. But yeah, as far as the town of the net goes, what I might actually do, and honestly, I just I got held over at work, and I was kind of tuckered when I got home and laid down for a few minutes and really just didn't have a lot of time to put it together. So I thought, well, this will be a good night to experiment and see if it affects the check-ins in any way. But one thing I could do is just put it to the very end when I don't have a lot of check-ins coming back in, or what seems like the end, and that way anybody that does want to hang around here can, and anybody that doesn't, then they don't have to. And it, you know, so yeah, and I enjoy doing it. So yeah, I'll probably pick it back up next week then, because like I say, hopefully if this interview goes well Thursday, then I'm done studying and interviewing and all that kind of stuff. I'll have something to kind of rest on for a while. All right, that brings us to the end of the list once again. Are there any other stations that would like to check in?
That's KD4 CCO. I got 443 linked up, so it's a little late, but I guess that's better late than never. KD4 CCO is clear.
Okay, Dallas, thank you for doing that, and we'll give it another try or two there, then see if we pick up any check-ins from there or any other place. So, are there any other stations that would like to check in? Okay, a couple quick reminders, and I lost track of my notes, but some of it I remember pretty well anyway. Don't forget, like Matt mentioned there, the Country Roads Net on Thursday nights at 8 o'clock, and we do try to connect the node on the 146.67 repeater to that net. I have missed, I think I missed last week work-related type stuff, but if I'm not around, anyone's welcome to dial the node up and connect it, and you can go to our Bristol Amateur Radio Club Facebook page, and you can find those node numbers to make that a little bit easier. Also, tomorrow night at 9 o'clock, the 443 net over on 443.000, analog FM net for the local folks, and then the Yard Dogs net also at 9 o'clock on Wednesday nights in room 40383. Check that one out. I do try to connect 6-7. I will probably not be around to do so, so if you're interested in checking into that one, feel free to access the 146.670 node and connect to the Yard Dogs net and join those. It's a technical net, and there's a lot of good information that they discuss that they've taught me a lot about C4 FM. Also, check out QSO America. The room number is 43815. They have multiple nets, multiple Facebook pages, but if you look up QSO America or Friends of Amateur Radio Group, FARG, you can see a list of those nets. They even have morning nets on some days of the week at 9:30 in the morning. Whenever I can, I try to connect to those also. Also, a quick reminder, we are in the process of trying to put together a kids net called Kids Connection, kids spelled with a Z. There is a Facebook page, group page, that is out there now, and we're putting out progress, and we're asking for input and ideas from you all as well for that net. I've got a poll up right now to vote on the day and the time. Looks like Saturday around 7 p.m. is winning, and we're still got to work on a date for the first net. So I'll probably try to get that worked up here in the next week or so and get that information out and give us a little time to advertise it to see what we can get. But we're going to invite everybody to check in, but we're going to focus it around the kids and try to get them interested in amateur radio and teach them a thing or two. Let me read. The plan is to use the QSO America room 43815. For the local folks, we can connect the node from the 146.67 repeater to that room when we have the net, and we may also be able to get 443 connected in with it as well. The reason that we went with that room is they also have a SCS reflector. It's SCS 4, room 54, and that can bring in some more check-ins, folks that have these open spots and things like that, and they have had other modes linked in and had issues with them in the past, but it seems like these two modes linking together seem to work okay, so that'll get us some more coverage out there. All right, so that's my long-winded spiel. If anyone was left to hear and we'll see if one more time for any other stations that would like to check in, please call now. Okay. Hearing none, does anyone else have anything for the net? All right, if all minds are clear, we'll go into our nightly wrap-up here. We had a total number of 15 check-ins tonight, and that included 11 nodes at one time. Let's make that 12 because 443 came in after I wrote that down. We had 3 states represented. Thanks to each one of you for taking the time to check into the net. This is N4NT, closing the Tri-Cities Mountain Empire Fusion net at 10:13 p.m. 7-3, good night.